Hi, Taurus. How are you guys doing? I feel like I've just woken up from a trance. I've just been sitting here for a while meditating over like your sign and the cards and trying to get somewhere. And my conclusion was I'm channeling wisdom today. Whatever that means. I hardly ever use the word channel to begin with, right? Because I am half scientist, half believer of the unknown worlds and the esoterics. And so there's always this constant clash within me, like this internal conflict that I have to convince myself that such scientifically void principles as channeling could happen, and yet there are undeniable events that happen to me and around me, and synchronicities, feelings, sensations, and actual visions that may occur that always has me thinking, second guessing. So today we are channeling wisdom, people. Wisdom. Not love, not order, not design, no power, but wisdom. So let's see how it goes. Nice deep stretch. Sip of coffee. Raise the screen so that you guys can see me. Okay. We are one, we are Zen in this circle. This is my sacred circle. This is my one of my hula hoops. I figured I would, integrate my hoop into my readings. Why not? The hoop always makes me feel centered, always makes me feel more down to earth. It's a very great substitute to yoga when I'm not feeling like doing my yoga sessions. Then I will pick up my hoop. I suggest you guys also try it. Give it a go one day. Why not? You might enjoy it. Okay, so enough of the hubbub. I tend to do that a lot. So, Taurus. I'm going to lay out the cards slightly differently. I'm thinking of picking 5 cards from this Rider-Waite and 5 cards from my Deviant Moon deck, because the Rider-Waite has been overused. Not in general with other readers. No, I love this deck. I'll always love it. But I mean, I've been using it excessively the last few days. So it's just gathered so much energy. I want to spend time cleansing my cards soon. So I just think I get the strong feeling that I need to divide this reading between both decks. So that's what we'll do. So let's talk about April and what April might look like for you guys, apart from the fact that it's also going to be very close to your birthday month after April 20th, right? So April is a divine month for your career. Your career will be on the rise, which is always a nice thing. If you're feeling a little bit down and drained at the beginning of the month, this is normal. Everyone goes through that period. Every sign will have to go through that period. Now, it will be a very good time for you then to confide in your friends, the ones that you trust the most. If you're feeling down, then I really suggest that you turn for some help. Wow, I can't speak, you guys. Really, turn to your friends for advice and help, because this month, if you isolate for too long, if you bottle things up excessively, oh crap, okay. If you bottle things up excessively, then you're going to see some health issues arise, especially as it may pertain to your blood pressure and your heart as well, actually, where this feeling of really being down and low, that sensation that you get in your chest, is going to become more apparent. But it can also physically manifest itself, so we're no longer talking about it's no longer metaphorical and it actually becomes a real physical issue. So I really want you to watch out for your health this month. Let it all out. The first half is not going to be so emotionally strong, and I mean, again, in the sense that you feel confident enough to, like, you know, socialize and be romantic. It's more a time to definitely evaluate things, go over things in your head. Too many cards there, but okay. Well, we're gonna listen to all of them then. Why not? So it's definitely a time to go over what has been bothering you a lot. But it's not something that you can keep to yourself, because I feel like you will be suffocating yourself if you do this. Truly suffocating yourself. For those of you who enjoy a good workout, then I do encourage you to exercise, of course, because it's a great way to get your endorphins pumping, and endorphins make people happy. So I highly encourage that this month. If you feel lazy, try to push yourself out of this. Try to really encourage yourself to go out for that jog, do that yoga session, go for Pilates. If you don't like to go running, if you don't like to go jogging, speed walking is better than nothing. So basically just get your body moving, get your heart pumping, and in a good way, okay? That's really truly my advice to you. Don't be so harsh on yourself, Taurus. Pamper yourself if you want. Venus is retrograde, which means that Venus is going to be, and Venus is one of your rulers, right? So you're going to, you feel this more than other signs. You and Libra feel this more than other signs. But when Venus is retrograde, it means it's really going to be hanging out more around you. Like, you will feel its significance last for much longer. And this is why I say it's a good time to reach out to friends and family to share your concerns with them, because your friends love you. They really, really do. Now more than other periods. I'm not saying that, you know, we all have our good days, we all have our bad days. I'm not saying that you are lovable more on some days, but it's just this influence that the retrograde can have, is that it strengthens those connections more. So, okay. With this Knight of Wands here in the reverse, I find this really interesting. Very interesting, actually. I usually dislike the Knight of Wands because it tells me that there is someone who's rather non-committal in your environment. Someone who likes to pull your leg every now and then. They show up, they show you the time of your life, and get you wondering and hoping that they're going to stick around. But then they just disappear, and then they'll show up again. And so the Knight of Wands is usually someone who comes and goes a lot. But with this, with them being here in the reverse, this suggests to me that someone, possibly a friend, may start to reveal themselves as being interested in you more than just as a friend. It could be the start of a deeper relationship. So even if nothing too romantic happens, let's say between you and someone else, there is a strengthening of a connection or a bond with a friend who is showing you more attention than usual. So trust your gut and your instincts in this case, because they may not be very clear verbally. They may not verbally come and tell you, hey, let's give this a shot, but they will simply show this by being present more, by showing you that they care, by responding to your texts, your calls in your time of distress. If you call someone up and you say, hey, I really need you right now, I need someone to talk to, they'll be there. They'll show up at your door. They will not hesitate. Taurus, these are the people that you need to be around now more than ever. Now, in terms of work and career, like I said, it's a very good month for you guys. I'm just going to lower the screen so that you can kind of have a look here at the cards. Like I said, I'm going to draw out more cards from the Deviant Moon deck, but let's start with these. So like I said, this month is a very good month for your career. Your career can rise up. And if you are unhappy with your current job or workplace, then it's also a very good time to apply to new jobs. Just get your CV out there and wait and see what the reactions are like. Reactions may come a bit later than usual. They may be delayed, and that doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. It's just Mercury's influence as well, since Mercury will be going retrograde around the 3rd of April, if I'm not mistaken there. If I am mistaken, please feel free to correct me. But so then, as you see, we have quite a few planets going retrograde. Venus and Mercury both going retrograde. Saturn will be going retrograde rather soon as well, but let's not worry about Saturn just yet. So with Mercury going retrograde, this can tend to make us feel rather anxious on the communication front. But something I'd like to tell you is that you're rather sharp when it comes to what you want to say this month. And what you can say will have a very strong impact on the people who listen, who are truly listening this month. Your words will be more prevalent, in their thoughts and in their memories. It's going to have you're going to be able to catch people's attention with your words, and particularly bosses and high authority figures. So when you're drafting out those cover letters, make sure that you proofread once or twice before you send it out. You want your application to be absolutely perfect for the positions that you're applying for. It's like I said, if you're happy with your current job, but you think that it's time for a raise, it's time for a promotion of sorts, it's also a very good time for you to approach your boss. I see this King of Pentacles here as a boss figure, as an authority figure who can really help you rise and elevate and move up that corporate ladder. But again, you have to be tact with your words and with your approach. And due to the mix of anxious feelings that may arise as a result of Mercury going retrograde, which also has a strong influence on you, then I'm going to watch you to please watch your words, because you might have this you might want to lash out at people randomly this month as well, where you can't take it. And that is why, again, I highly recommend that if you're feeling like that, Taurus, reach out to your friends and family, and do not be so hard on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself, because I feel like a lot of you are blaming yourselves for things that have gone wrong. And there's a bit of guilt and shame that is just hanging about there. That's really, here, like, okay, I want to combine these two cards together because I feel like they're inextricably linked here. I feel like you're really experiencing a lot of guilt and shame in regards to how you were behaving not so long ago, where maybe you were a bit too harsh to someone, and now you're starting to feel like it's coming back to bite you. But again, don't spend too much time overthinking and giving these emotions too much power, because they can come and start to exert themselves in a more physical way, where you will start to feel physically ill, Taurus. And I don't want that to happen to you, and I'm sure you don't want that to happen to yourself either. So rather than bottle up your emotions internally, release them and bottle them up in another form if you want, like this Queen of Cups here, who likes to observe her emotions from a distance, or likes to make sense of them as she communicates in a profound manner to those who she trusts. So you need to reach out to people whom you trust. And as I said, this Knight of Wands figure here, who is tired of coming and going, maybe someone who you can really turn to at this time. And it can be a strengthening of bonds. So someone you've known for a very long time here, as a friend, perhaps even a childhood friend here, who comes back to reignite a flame between the two of you, which is actually very, very beautiful. And like I said, you know, after the 15th of April, which is also when Venus goes direct, you'll start to feel better. And then we'll be approaching your birthday month as well, which is really nice. And you'll start to feel more on top of your game, which is awesome. I couldn't hope for anything more for you guys. You will feel victorious and rather successful with the decisions that you make and the conversations that you have and all the insights that you can reap from the conversations that you're having. So on that note as well, you know, the 11th of April is a full moon, and that's a very good time to just purge and release. You want to approach your birthday with high spirits, and the only way that you can do that is if you let go of all the burdens that you've been feeling. You want to try to cleanse and transmute all the negative sensations. Again, this self-judgment, because I really feel like it is self-judgment. Now, usually when this card comes up, you know, there is a very good reason for it, which to me suggests that you truly believe that you deserve this judgment that's coming your way. And that the universe, to some extent, wants to make you feel this way as well. There is a good reason for it. But just be careful that you don't end up taking it out on those around you. So although I don't encourage you to isolate for too long the first half of the month, because I feel like that will be detrimental to your health and your psychological well-being, the second half, you know, when Mercury starts to become retrograde and you start to feel more anxious, then achieving a very good balance between communicating and keeping to yourself can be the difference between earning that promotion and beating yourself up for saying something that you regret. So just try to be mindful of this time period. Otherwise, it's looking super great, and especially on the friend front, romantic possibilities are an option this month, but that doesn't mean that you should disregard the deepening of platonic friendships as well, which can be a highlight. It's a very good time for you to take a relationship to another level as well, not with Venus being retrograde. And I don't mean making a drastic level like getting engaged or married. Actually, I advise against that during Venus retrograde. But it's more that if someone is offering to strengthen their bond, their existing bond with you, it's a very good time to do this. If you've been dating someone very casually, it's also a good time to introduce them to your friends. after the 15th, I'd say, when things calm down. And things will calm down also on the ego front, where you're not going to feel the need to feed your ego anymore. But that will, again, depend a lot on how you decide to handle your feelings at the beginning of the month and this lack of energy that you may experience at the beginning of the month. Okay, let's see if we can add more information or more insight as to what's going on with you, Taurus, my beautiful Taurus, April 2017. Okay. Interesting. No, let's not listen to those. That was a complete slip right there. So this Knight of Wands, who is in reverse, may be an Aries. Might be, it doesn't have to be an Aries. They are someone who is otherwise very confident in their approach. If they are not an Aries, they are someone who they know what they want. And they know how to get what they want, for sure. I like the book. I find the depiction of the Emperor in this deck very interesting because he's very flamboyant. And if he's not flamboyant, okay, and i.e. like maybe perhaps a little bit gay, then just buoyant and happy-go-lucky. But, as most emperors are, can be a little bit tough with their approach. So, or just adamant, adamant. Now, again, I really, really urge you to watch what you say to any authority figures this month. And I say this even more, I'm going to take both these cards, because of the Knight of Swords that's appeared here and above this King of Pentacles. Because you can be rather harsh this month if you don't watch your words, not so clever with your approach, but at the very same time, aiming for a goal. So again, it's good to tame your ego the very first half of the month, and I really feel that you can do this more with the support of your friends and family. You don't want to act too quickly when it officially speaking in the workplace, because you might find that your plan fails. Okay, with this Seven of Swords, this Five of Swords, there is a slight chance that you can get away with your behavior, but I really, really wouldn't take that risk. Why would you take that risk? With the Five of Swords, it can also suggest that you give off this vibe that cannot be trusted. And again, you can come to point fingers to yourself and blame yourself for the way, I really feel with this Five of Swords, okay, even more strongly what I had said about this Judgment card, that you might be going over certain events and scenarios in your head from the past where you may have treated someone unfairly, or you may have behaved inappropriately, and now it's coming to bite you. And it's coming to bite you in the ass, in the form of your own mental torture here. So this Five of Swords tells me that at some point you had difficult or harsh words with someone, and this made you feel good for a while, but right now you're questioning the benefit of it all, because you may have lost this person, or you might simply just be feeling guilty. And so this feeling of success that you had, that you kind of got them back. Let's say there was a reason for the argument, there was a reason for the exchange of harsh words to you back then. Now you're questioning your morals, and perhaps you're wondering if you could have handled it differently. So it triggers this time of, intense emotional reflection. And with Mercury going retrograde again, there is a tendency for us to overthink, Taurus, and there's a tendency for us to want to take things apart and put them back together again with this Page of Pentacles, but you're not going to be doing so very clearly. You need to clear your mind because you're biasing yourself right now. You are biasing yourself. And for any of you who work in the more technical fields like engineering, or you have to deal with maths, then, or if you are in the scientific world in general, you have to conduct research, then you know how important it is to set up the design of a research in such a way that you try to eliminate co-variables that will come and disrupt your findings, that will bias your findings in any way. You need to try to remain as neutral as possible. And this is why seeking out the help of a friend or two can really, really be helpful, where instead of questioning yourself, you can question them. You can ask them what they think. You can say, hey, I'm feeling like this, and I feel like I'm being a little bit too harsh on myself here, but maybe you can tell me what you think about the situation, and see what they have to say. Nope. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. 2 cards. The last 2 cards. We have the Queen of Pentacles here as somehow a clarifier to this 6 of Cups. So, someone who is very grounded and confident in their abilities, much like this Emperor here, could be the person who comes back into your life, someone that you've known, again, for quite a long time here. And they may be an earth sign, but I don't like to give too much weight to signs, especially since we've got multiple signs in our natal chart, and it's not like every one of us can go digging into the other person's natal chart. So while this person could be, for example, could be an Aries sun, they may also be a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo rising, or have that in their moon. Whoever this person is, they're very grounded, they're very confident, perhaps even overconfident, to the point where some people around them can't take them too seriously. But they have a very good heart, and they come to you with good intentions. This 5 of Pentacles suggests to me that perhaps towards the end of April, you might start to feel like you really need to take some time to yourself. Time for yourself, but at the same time, you don't want to be cooped up at home. So it's kind of like you need to get around and about discreetly. after everyone goes to bed sort of thing, where you're just like, I'm gonna go take a walk now, or I'm gonna pay a visit to the local bar, have a beer on my own, a glass of wine on my own, or just simply go for a walk around the block on my own. I don't want to again, communication problems. I don't want to draw too much attention to myself at this time. Some fresh air will do you good at this time, Taurus. Let's see if there's anything else here. I don't think so. So that was your reading for the month of April 2017. Taurus, you rock. Thank you so much for following me, for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. Your likes are very appreciated as well. Thank you to all who have, received a private reading from me. The private readings so far this March have been really, really cool. Really cool. With the exception of maybe a couple that was just a bit like meh, or like what's happening here. That doesn't say this. That's not to say that I don't enjoy every single reading that I give. I do, but it's just that this month some of the readings have been super, super on point, and I've just been feeling really excited and reminding myself of why I even became a tarot reader to begin with, where I feel super connected and really happy to give you guys these readings. So again, I want to thank you so much for your support. It's been an ultimate pleasure. And I will be introducing mid-month readings, hopefully, so you can hold me accountable for that around the middle of the month. If you don't see a mid-month reading pop up in time, feel free to leave me a comment, push, pry, poke, and say, hey, JJ, where's our mid-month reading? I'm trying to be more active with the channel, and this is one very good way that I can do so. The mid-month readings will be shorter. I'll try to keep them shorter, just because we won't be reading for a whole month. We're going to be catching up on what it is that's been said now with this reading, and to see if we can clarify what is yet to come for the latter half of the month. Okay, so you guys, I'll talk to you soon. Take very good care of yourselves. Love each other and all that jazz. Bye.